being in exactly that position.
The aims of the company are to offer to the commercial world driving courses and allied courses for executives and their drivers, particularly in the driving field, a first-class defensive and offensive driving course. We feel we can offer primarily awareness. A lot of the incidents that have taken place have been due to a total lack of awareness, lack of training. And often we find that nowadays, with the increase in terrorism, the necessity for good training is paramount. We're coming up to a right-hand bend. Now, we have no way of knowing what is around that bend, so we should reduce our speed as we approach the bend in case we have to take any evasive action.
It's very exciting, isn't it? It makes you wonder what's going to be.
It's clear and it's straight, but again, we've got an awful lot of drives that are concealed driveways. There would be no way of spotting a vehicle that was parked up in one of these driveways. It'd be very easy to pull straight out in front. The only thing you can do in these circumstances, where traffic permits, is to hug the middle of the road as much as possible.
What about people? Now, that guy just dropped his arm as we came along.
That would be a suspicious incident, but again, you would have to look ahead. He personally doesn't present too much of a threat unless his hand went into that carrier bag. Then we would see what your high-speed driving is like.
You'll find that when braking like this, you get the maximum braking effect from the tyres, the brakes, when the wheels are just being allowed to turn. So in a short distance, you are getting the maximum braking effect at least half a dozen times.
So what was I doing wrong there?
So it wasn't quick enough.
Not quick enough. Bang, 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 bang.
That's the idea.
Let's have another go.
Good. And that should be kept up until the vehicle comes to a stop. You've got to be really alert for things that go on in front of you, especially taking notice of road surfaces.
So that you don't get caught out by an odd slippery bit.
That's right.
Right in the middle of the sequence.
That's correct, yeah. If you've got a slippery surface on one side of the vehicle, or we say for the inside tyres, and a dry surface for the outside tyres, then again cadence braking would be applied.
Right. We just saw how that handbrake turn got that guy out of trouble. How did he do it?
Well, first of all, hand positions. Your right hand should be at the top of the steering wheel, 12 o'clock. Your left hand will be on the handbrake.
Well, as soon as I saw the situation developing?
That's correct. If the surface is wet, you should reach a speed of 30 miles an hour, no more, no less. If it's a dry surface, then your speed will be a little higher, 35 miles an hour. And this is essential. If the speed is too high, you will overspin. If your speed is too low, the vehicle won't make the turn.
So I then end up just facing sideways to the gunman.
That's right. And of course, this is not exactly what we want. So if you'd like to move off now, we'll
get up to speed.
So try the first run.
Now you want me to dart that way and then that way. That's and the handbrake on?
Yep.
Didn't go at all that time.
No, because you're using your foot brake. You've got, if you notice your feet there, you're
sort
right
of instinctive. As soon as you start going, you put your foot on the brake.
But you must have the confidence that the vehicle is going to do what we want it to do by keeping your feet off the pedals. You must keep your feet away from the pedals.
I'll try and do that next time. Knocked it into neutral.
Yes, it's...
Still, at least we got away from them. We stood around in the danger area a bit too long, I think.
A bit too long, yes.
if we've got to go around a corner fast on a wet surface,
Yes.
what's the thing to look for?
Now we do it slowly.
Yes.
And at the outside.
Yeah.
Outside. Then more and more accelerate. But not too fast. Only with control, yes? Turn it, yes. That's good.
Well, this is a classic Latin American type ambush situation. The driver has come round the corner. He's obviously just overtaken the tow truck. And as he's come round the corner, the tow truck's pulled across the road to block off any form of retreat. The method of continuing is up to the driver. He has to make a very, very quick decision. Does he go round the vehicles, onto the verges? In this instance, we don't know what's below.
Well, there could be a ditch
Could
or
be
anything.
a ditch, could be anything.
And if he hits
So-
that, he's stuck.
Oh, very much so, yeah.
So what's he going to do with these two cars?
He's got to hit them very, very centrally. He has to hit them behind the rear wheel, and he has to make sure that he takes the main impact on the wings of the attacking vehicle, his vehicle. And the speed is critical, obviously, to move these sort of vehicles out of the way.
Let's see how he does it.
Well, that's all for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we're taking a look at motorcycles. Visiting the motorcycle show at the NEC, we've got an interesting story on a brand new tyre from Pirelli for motorcycles. Indeed, in terms of tyre design, a world's first, and a riveting story about a three-wheeler that goes like the wind. So see you next week, same time, different place. Until then, drive safely. Good night.